Hey, David Wygant, 10-minute daily reality check with John Keegan, November the 2nd, 2017. Time is flying. We talked about it yesterday.
You know, David.
What, John?
A few months back, I was in a relationship.
I remember that.
And I was in Los Angeles at the time. And I was in staying in a little Hollywood bungalow in West Hollywood.
Cute place, right?
Cute little place.
Yeah, they're great over there.
And I was standing on the front yard, like a front yard made of like rocks. You know how some of those yards are just made of stones. And I was standing there, and in my arms was one of the most beautiful women I'd ever seen. Wrapped in my arms, kissing me, holding me as tight as she could with all the life in her body. And I was holding her back in that way. And I looked into her eyes, unbelievable eyes, just soulful, beautiful, sexy, sensual, and then at the same time the sun was coming through into my eyes, so it was kind of like some kind of like art film where everything was all blurred out by the sun and the feeling of love. It was like a very abstract feeling, and it felt like it felt like what love feels like. It felt like this thing that you would see in a movie and say, I wish that was me, right? And I knew inherently, having lived enough life, that no matter what becomes of her and I or whatever will be, that this moment is a special moment in my life. This is one of those moments that I get to really experience love. I get to experience romance. I get to experience passion. I get to experience the affection of a beautiful woman. I get to experience, I just get to experience life. And in that moment, I had that realization. And I just, instead of trying to wonder what it would be in the future, or worry what it would be in the future, or hope that this would last forever, I just lived in the foreverness of that moment. So deeply and fully.
Oh, the foreverness of the moment. You know what the most beautiful thing is?
What?
When you're so in the moment with a woman.
Yeah.
And you're not thinking of anything else at all, and you're connecting and talking and touching and kissing and feeling. You can see a woman's face change in different ways. You can see almost the little girl that wants to be held. You can see the seductress come out. You can see you can see just the most beautiful things. Like, women's faces are just so beautiful when they're lit up. When they're lit up and their emotions are flowing and they feel really safe in your presence. To me, in that moment, there's nothing more beautiful at all. Nothing. You see the innocence, you see everything, because a woman's true beauty comes out when she's lit up by a man that allows her to be herself. When a woman feels really super safe, right? And a woman feels really good, she glows. You can almost see it like glowing from the inside out. And it's funny how many women that you and I have talked about that we've met and we've seen, and we've used this term a lot. She's not open. You know, and women like to call it, they put their resting bitch face on. When in reality, nobody wants to go near somebody that's closed.
Face? Why don't men have a resting bitch face?
Because we don't. Because we're like dogs. We have like a resting golden retriever face.
But, I mean,
you
you're
know?
right. Is it really a resting bitch face? Is there something wrong with their face, or is? I mean, I don't want to get into this.
No, they don't want to light themselves up, and that's the thing. The thing is, they don't know how to light themselves up, and that's what a lot of people. Men don't have resting bitch face. Men have like resting anxiety face. You know. And the thing is, it's like we all want to experience that moment that you described. I took myself there, and I felt like I was the director of the movie because I've been there, and it's a beautiful moment. And I saw the two of you there in the light, and I imagined just taking a picture of that moment, because if I did, your true beauty and her true beauty was really energetically mirroring one another and matching one another, right? And yet people walk around with these things they like to call resting bitch face, and they expect somebody to just walk over and just enlighten them or light them up. But in reality, you almost got to just fucking light yourself up. It's almost like a heart masturbation. It's like masturbation of the heart. You got to open up your fucking heart and walk around and feel really wonderful about the moment that you're about to create. You need to create that moment on your own, because otherwise people walk around anxiety and anxious filled. And that's the reason why so many people are not connecting to each other, because people are not lit up anymore. They're lit up by the phone screen, and there's nothing uglier than a face looking at a phone screen.
It's like watching drug addicts on Instagram get their serotonin hit by trying to get likes or see what I mean, listen, we've all been guilty of it,
All of us
right?
have.
All of us, and I'm never most unhappy when I get stuck on the stream of any of that stuff, the news, the Instagram, the Facebook. So it feels so good when I just look out at the sun and the sky and other people, and that's just. But anyway, but you said something interesting that I never really thought of. That someone who has resting bitch face in general, often, anyone could be in a bad mood, right? But someone who's basic, rest face is bitchy, so to speak.
Says a lot about them.
It's but you're saying maybe they haven't figured out as a person, rather than like condemning them or blaming them, which would be easy because when someone is resting bitch face, it makes you feel bad when you look at them. It makes you almost take it personally, right? It could, it's not. But I think that you tapped into something, and if you suffer from resting bitch face, or some guys,
and the side effects are no sex life, and you're right.
Well, yeah, or just a general feeling of discontent. I think he said something interesting. Perhaps they haven't figured out how to turn themselves on yet. They haven't figured out how to light themselves up yet. And you and I are grown men, and maybe we have figured out how to turn ourselves on and light ourselves up, and that's I'm not. So that's really special. But I probably didn't always know how to. But I don't think I ever really had resting bitch face, to be honest.
No, you know,
actually,
no.
So I don't understand it still. But
John, you know what we're doing?
Stop it! Stop with the fitness.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what we're doing?
Yeah.
We're constantly masturbating our hearts.
Oh yeah.
Think about it, right? If every little time, like I'll see a little kid and I'll look at them and go, "Oh my God, you're so sweet," and I'll smile, right? Because I feel the warmth of people.
Yeah.
And I share the warmth with people. So I'm constantly masturbating my own heart, because if I do that, I actually come across as a light being, as somebody who's wide open, somebody who is enjoying life. That is a masturbation of your heart and a masturbation of your mind. Too many people with the resting bitch face, they're always looking for reasons for life not to work in their favor. They don't trust anything. They don't know how to open up their soul, because if they do, or they hold back and they say to themselves, well, the one time I did that, we always hear that, the one time I did that, it didn't work. But they're one-timers, they're always one-timing life.
Wait a minute, I see a lot of young women with resting bitch face. I'm very confused by it now that we're talking about it.
All right.
Is because it's an exploration. Do they have resting bitch face, or is it in our minds? Is it our interpretations of their face?
You and I have walked around and we've...
because this is a sexist conversation.
Well,
right?
Men have resting anxiety face.
No, because you could say, "Hey, don't tell me to smile." That's like a slogan for people.
Well, I'll go back in time when I was in 20s, living in New York and bartending. People would come in sometimes, and I'd be kind of bitchy, right? Have an asshole look on my face. I'd be bartending, and I was annoyed at all the drunken people.
We were specifically talking about resting bitch.
Right. So I would have that look on, and people would come in and say, "Why don't you just smile?" You know what? And now if I go back in time, if I realize when I had pouty face or whatever it was, I didn't light myself up inside.
You're right.
And
that's the truth. So even today, if I was walking around grumpy, maybe, I don't know, not today, but any day, it's like, and it's not just, but it's every day. You haven't figured out how to light yourself up, to be lit up, to be what? What does it mean to be lit up? To be in a state of appreciation? To be in a state of appreciation.
No, complete vulnerability to whatever happens, and to be an appreciation of everything that happens.
Wow. That's
what it really means to be lit up. To be lit up means that you appreciate everything about your life.
A lot of people are scared to do that.
Yeah, but they're missing out on life.
And then they're scared of, imagine if you were always happy and smiling, how many people might come up and talk to you that you don't want to deal with, and all that kind of stuff.
So what? How many people talk to you that we don't want to deal with? I mean, how many times am I on an airplane and I got people chatting me up? And you know what? I talk to them for 10 or 15 minutes. I give them 10 or 15 minutes of me. It's not going to fucking kill me, right? And then I look, and you know what I always do? I say, hey, let's choose a movie. We can talk about it afterwards. It's really saying nicely, hey, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Oh, interesting.
And I always like to.
Yeah, you do talk to more people than me. I probably have a little resting bitch face sometimes, because you talk. I notice you'll talk to like a lot more strangers who will try to engage us, and you'll always talk 10 or 15 minutes. And I mean, sometimes I do, and sometimes I just don't want to.
Sometimes I don't want to, but I still make sure that if somebody makes an effort to talk to me, I make sure I treat them, even if I'm in the elevator. Today I was in the
Right.
elevator.
Good lesson.
Yeah,
You're
today I was in the elevator, and there was this, guy in the elevator with his dog, and there was this other guy in the elevator. I kind of pet the dog, and I said, this is a beautiful English lab. They're really great. And we had a conversation.
Yeah, you're very present in the elevator.
Well, yeah, no, but
Yeah.
give people the best of you.
Yes.
Because if you keep giving yourself and expecting nothing back, you're going to get everything you ever wanted. You're going to get friendship, love. You're going to get business connections. You're going to get everything. There's no reason to walk around angry at the world. The world is not set out against you. The world is actually abundant. Everything you want is already there for you. You just have to place an order. And I was telling the guys that over the weekend in the boot camp. I said, place an order. I mean, imagine if we can go to this delicatessen, right? And you say, well, I want this type of relationship. And the deli guy goes, do you want mayo or mustard on it? And you go, I don't know. To me, it's like I'm always making requests to the universe. I'm asking the universe for this type of woman to come into my life, for this type of friend to come into my life, for this type of opportunity to come into my life. And I dial into that because I believe in the abundance of what we actually can create by giving or actually opening our heart and allowing our heart to show instead of our fucking head, because that's what bitch face is. It's a heady thing. It's very heady. You can see somebody who's in their head. You can see the anxiety, man or woman. And bitch face could be man or woman. It doesn't matter.
It's not just women. You're right. But basically, it's people who aren't lighting themselves up. If that's their resting state, that's really an amazing thought. That's really an amazing thought.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's the reality check today. Light up your fucking heart. Live. Be
vulnerable. Open up. Yeah. Be vulnerable. Be in a state of awe. Be in a state of wonder. Like, look around, man. The sun, the sky, the people, all the strange and unusual things that we are, let alone all these strange and unusual things we invented and all the other things. Let's get in a state of awe and wonder and appreciation. Otherwise, you're just flatlining.
Waking Lifestyle, John Keegan, David Wygant out, man. 10-minute daily reality check. How to open up the masturbation of the heart and live in awe.
Yeah, come on back tomorrow for more self-help.